All right, everybody, welcome back to Across the Conference presented by Allstate alongside Ari Temkin. My name is Sydney Staples, and today we are joined by BYU baseball head coach Trent Pratt. Let's start it off here. This background behind you, gorgeous, and I know you guys got some newness over there in Provo for the program, but Coach, we want to start it out by asking you, what is it like to play baseball with the view and the setting that BYU has? I mean, it's known as the best place to play baseball in the country.
Yeah, I think sometimes being it for so long, you take it for granted. I know when it's, hey, we've dropped a couple of games and I'm feeling sorry for myself. I go sit in the press box and look at it and say, okay, I could be stacking carts at Home Depot or something like that. So it kind of puts things in perspective like, hey, it doesn't suck as bad as I think it does. Like, we'll get going again. So sometimes it takes me just to sit back and reflect and kind of take it in, because on the day to day, I think we take it for granted sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it would be difficult from my side, because I didn't grow up in Utah. I haven't spent a lot of time in Utah, but like I'm sure for you, like you grew up there, you coached there for as long as you have. Like I'm sure it does kind of become like background noise to a degree, even though for somebody that grew up in the Midwest and has lived in Texas, like no mountains here.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I played at Auburn, I played professionally on the East Coast for a while, and so kind of on the flight home, when you drop in, it was like, okay, man, it's kind of a calming feeling, even though there's turbulence when you drop into the mountains and land in Salt Lake. It's like, oh, this is home. It's kind of comforting, and seeing the mountains when you roll in is, yeah, it's kind of special.
I want to ask you about, what you're doing right now at BYU, because, look, when we go back and look at when you took over this program, you know, f- from Mike Littlewood and where it was at and joining the Big 12. I mean, that was a really difficult task in replacing a really successful coach at a time where it was sort of sudden. And then not only that, but you're joining the Big 12. Just kind of take us through that. And now, like, where is the program relative to your expectations?
Yeah, it was a difficult situation. The thing I'm blessed with is like a great administration here. From Brian Santaco was our administrator over baseball, and Tom Homo during that time was our athletic director, and having their support and how involved they are, man, they're great mentors to me, and that helped a lot. The biggest thing is the kids, though. Um, those kids I recruited as an assistant, and so having them the first year was a little bit rough, and then it seems like just since then it's kind of been a slow build. It's like we've kind of taken a little step forward every year, and the credit goes to the kids and like the coaching staff we have this year. It's the time they spent in, and this place does a lot as far as like, hey, we're winning more games, but I think we're winning games because we're focused on the individual and the player, and trying to develop the whole person. Um, and so I think that's the two biggest things: the support from our administration, and then, man, I love our kids. I think we have really special kids here that, man, they love baseball, they love what the school stands for, and we try to promote that. And I think at the end of the day, that might be our secret, is continuing to get better, is the kids and how much they love this place. And I think that translates on the field when it's all said and done.
That love for baseball, having been somebody who played at Arizona State, Auburn back in the day, before you got drafted MLB wise, I mean, how do you think baseball has changed? And how do you think the love for the game has changed for players over the years?
I think it's changed when it's young. I think you see a lot more of the travel baseball. I think my growing up was different than the way these kids grow up. When I grew up, we played with my little town in Tooele, Utah, and got our all-star team with the kids, the best kids in the town, and we go play against kids from other towns. They play a lot more now. I think it's what you were seeing kids develop a lot faster. And these kids are way better than I was at this age. I think simply because, I mean, I have a 9, 11-year-old, and they'll play like 80 games this year. I think I played 80 games in 4 years of high school baseball. And so, but I think kids still love it. I think that's it. I think it's us, making sure the youth coaches and do that. And like, they teach kids to love the game, and teach them the right way. And it's sometimes, whoa, better move a little bit. It's not about, hey, how many games we're playing, how many games we're winning, but teaching kids to truly love to play, and have that love for the game again. And I think you're seeing that like come back, a lot of these kids as a recruit, and seeing the kids in our program that, man, I love this team we have right now. Like, they love being at the park every day. I know I roll here at 8 a.m. There's someone here, leave late or come back, bring my kids over, hit at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and there's kids in the cages trying to get better. And so I think that's awesome to see.
Yeah, yeah. Your wife also coaches as well, right?
Yeah, she
She's
runs
a volleyball coach.
yeah, she runs a volleyball club here in Mapleton, Utah. That I don't know. She's the star. I don't know how she does it. The club volleyball season's the same time as the baseball season, and she has 20 something teams she's in charge of, and so yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I feel like I'm just in the way sometimes.
But I mean, like, number one, how what's it like to have kind of a household with two coaches? And I can't imagine what that's like on your kids. But then, second to that is like, do you guys teach each other things about coaching and leadership?
100%. Like we help each other out. It might not be great for my kids. Having I have 6 kids, so I have twin daughters who play college volleyball now, and so mom coached them all growing
Wow,
up, and so
that's
they may
amazing.
they may or may not get kicked out of the gym when they were 10 or 11 for arguing with a drill. Um, and so, but no, it's great. Having all that in house and having a wife that understands. I think that's a cool thing is she's like totally supportive of what I do and my dreams are her dreams and likewise. And so I think that definitely helps in the profession I'm in to have someone that supports you and really knows kind of what I'm going through.
Coach, what is your earliest baseball memory?
Man, I would say I grew up with 5 brothers. And so we lived in a house, we built a house up the street and it was the batting cage went in before the front room living room, before the furniture in the front room went in. So I had a mom that man loved her boys and she sacrificed no furniture in the front room to put a batting cage, in the backyard. So and those are probably the first memories just playing with my brothers and friends, like in the backyard. We were lucky enough to have, some open space back there to play wiffle ball all summer long. So those are probably my first memories of baseball.
Is there a team in Utah that everybody roots for?
Man, growing up, it was probably the Cubs or the Braves. They're the only ones on
Right.
TV, on
Yep.
WN or TBS. So most of my friends were Braves fans or Cubs fans. For some reason, I tried to follow the Royals because I like George Brett. So, waking up in the morning trying to look at the box score on the newspaper is kind of how, I was able to follow him.
I could see that same hairstyle.
Yeah.
When you look at the Big 12, obviously you played at Arizona State, which at that time was not a Big 12 member, but currently is. And, like how good is this league? Especially relative to other leagues. How much is the grind of the Big 12, prepare teams for the NCAA tournament?
I think the league, man, it's got to be one of the top 2 or 3 leagues in the country. It's deep. That people ask that, it's if you don't play good, you're going to lose. If you make a mistake, someone's going to make you pay. You see a lot of close scores, throughout the league, and it's like on any weekend, anyone can beat anybody. I think that's the beauty of the league is, man, it's competitive and deep, and like I said, you get exposed. You don't play good, you don't win baseball games.
With BYU baseball head coach Trent Pratt, what does it take to get to the postseason in this Big 12 conference because of how competitive that it is?
It's probably going to, finish in the top, 5 or 6 of the league, and then win those non-conference games. I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Is I feel like we're close, we're knocking on the door, but we got to continue to win the last couple of series. We got 3 series left. We probably have to win 3 series and win some games in the tournament. So I think it's consistency from week to week. I think you see the teams at the top. We were able to play West Virginia, and man, they're pretty consistent from week to week. Just their offense, their pitching, their defense, and so trying to model the program after those teams at the top. I think that's kind of what you see is, man, they're deep on the mound. They're deep offensively, and then they play real consistent, week to week.
What is it going to take for BYU baseball in terms of personnel, in terms of NIL? Like I'm always intrigued by that too, especially when it comes to baseball and some of the other sports that maybe don't have the same coffers as a football or men's basketball. Like what's left, in the NIL space for you guys? How much does that impact roster building, and what's the secret sauce?
I think for us, we talked about earlier, is getting kids that want to be at our institution. That hey, they come in, they don't want to leave. They come here and they want to develop and get better, but they truly want to win at BYU. I think that's what a lot of coaches say is get the kids that want to be at your program And then the NL space, it continues to get better for us as we've been in the league longer. And our administration does a great job supporting us and improving that from year to year. I think the biggest thing I think any coach would tell you is, man, you better have a lot of pitching. Kids get hurt, like you can never have enough. So I think as you go through roster building, man, more than half our roster is probably going to be, on the mound. And how good can we get at developing guys and the depth we can get that we can pitch a bunch of guys throughout the year.
Coach Trent, Pratt, everybody from BYU baseball. Coach, we're excited to see how the rest of this regular season shapes out, what Big 12 conference play really turns into postseason wise. And for everybody here at Across the Conference, Ari Temkin, myself, Sydney Staples, wishing you all the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you guys. Great to be on and appreciate all you guys do for our league.